Moving to Colorado, yeah, you're not the only one. Today we're going to dive into 5 reasons why people love living in Colorado. Stay tuned till the end because one of them will actually have a love-hate relationship and could be on one of the reasons why people hate living in Colorado. So stay tuned for that. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, living in the Denver suburbs, eXp Realty. I am a real estate agent and I love helping people find homes. So if you are in the market to buy, sell, or know someone that is, hit me up. All my contact information's in the description below. You can always shoot me a text, 303-210-0378. While you're here, please like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to share the 5 reasons why people love living in Colorado, as I would know, because I'm a native. First things first, the majestic outdoors, from the Great Plains to the Rocky Mountains and everything in between, the Colorado River, the great alpine lakes that we do have, although very few. Everyone loves the great outdoors. Colorado is an extremely active state, always in the top 5 as far as active states. People are always out jogging and walking and taking advantage of that altitude once acclimated. If you're just moving here, be careful with that altitude. If you're going from sea level straight up to the mountains and doing rigorous activity, I would not suggest that without getting acclimated. However, the outdoors are something that Coloradans love. Parks all sprouted out through, the urban areas, obviously on the suburbs, and then obviously the national parks and the state parks and all of the things that the mountains do have to offer, from camping to paddleboarding to rafting to, anything and everything you could imagine doing both outdoors in the summer, and then obviously the skiing and snowboarding and snowmobiling and tubing and everything that people love to do on hills in the snow. Are obviously great places for recreation here in Colorado. So that is absolutely the number one reason, is the outdoor, majestic opportunities for you to, get outside, take in that fresh air in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Next, of course, we have Denver, more than just a capital, more than just a cow town, somewhere in between there. Such a, history of Denver and how it did come from the cow town and how we still have one of the most renowned stock shows in the country, to what it is today with the art districts and all of the history behind the Brown Palace and downtown Denver and everything that central location built in a little valley has absolutely exploded into being. So from great nightlife to great restaurants, the culture is, everywhere. From Rhino, the, street art, everything that we have here in Colorado is something, to behold. The summer beer festivals, the Cherry Creek Arts Festival, what used to be, the Taste of Colorado downtown, all of our sports scene right there in the central hub of Denver. Denver's just a great centrally located metropolis, so to speak, as the suburban areas have greatly surrounded it. Most places that are considered suburbia, you can get to Denver in 20 or 30 minutes, if not less. So the access is there. I will say that the infrastructure, we have outgrown our infrastructure a little bit, but we don't have traffic problems like the East Coast and people that move from DC and Virginia, and it takes them an hour and a half to get to the movie theater, and we're not quite there yet. And the city's working on it. I don't know if we'll ever catch up to the infrastructure needed. However, it's just a wonderful place to live. And, the fact that you can see the mountains from almost everywhere in Denver, great views, great parks. So you even have within the city limits of Denver, some great neighborhoods with, more of a suburban feel with the parks, and, young families are absolutely deciding to live in more urban areas and, raise a family. And so Denver is something that absolutely is, a hallmark for, people that are moving to Colorado in general, because it offers so much as far as, a big city, but then we have still kind of the cowtown vibe, which is always, something we'll hold on to as Denverites. The number 3 reason why people are loving living in Colorado is the opportunities, from entrepreneurial startups to the green energy, craze, as well as all of the things from Denver becoming a vibrant city with restaurant opportunities and, service industry opportunities, to obviously the big ones, Health One, Ball Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, United Airlines. That's just a few of the companies who are absolutely, on that Fortune 500 list or the bigger corporations in Colorado. And so that's providing opportunity for people to come here, for natives to get jobs, as well as just opportunity for growth. As we know, that economic hub and the opportunity must be there for, a thriving real estate market like we have, averaging, 6% appreciation over 60 years, well ahead of the national average, because it is such a desirable place to live and there are opportunities in the job markets. Different startups, Crocs and some the startups are endless that have come out of Colorado and the Denver area. And that's exactly the culture and the framework that allows Denver to expand and continue to be so vibrant and creative, as you will. The next is just the community, the diversity, all of the things, from Red Rocks to our sports teams to all of our live music venues, from little jazz bars downtown, to the Grizzly Rose, to obviously, the stadium shows that are, attracted in Power Field at Mile High. That culture is absolutely ingrained. Obviously, every style of food, as we, continue to grow as a city, we have, 5-star restaurants and 5-star hotels, if that's your vibe. But we also have so much of the Airbnb lifestyle and all of that in the foothills and the mountains. So you can get some city life in, and, in an hour and a half, you can be on the slopes skiing. And so that vibrant community type feel is absolutely huge. Places, vibrant neighborhoods, older neighborhoods in the Denver area, the city parks, the wash parks, all of those areas that have just vibrant communities full of diversity, nightlife, fun for all families. The brewery culture is absolutely huge. As you know, we have a few dispensaries. No reason that the background's green besides of that, but obviously just a completely, melting pot of, humanity, which is absolutely a reason why I love Denver. And, the culture continues to, grow and be more and more diverse as we go. So that's the next reason why people absolutely love living in Colorado and Denver. There's a little bit for everybody, from single young professionals to, family, lifelong family, huge family atmospheres. Colorado is absolutely a place for everyone. And reason number 5 is the weather. 300 days of sunshine per year. And I will tell you that having 4 seasons is an absolute breath of fresh air. As the season changes, a new energy kind of takes over the communities, even the snow, right? I will tell you, snow is kind of a love-hate. It could be on the 5 reasons people love living in Colorado and 5 reasons why people hate living in Colorado. But the truth is, from a native perspective, I've been at other, snowy climates. And the thing about Colorado, because we do have the 300 days of sunshine, sometimes it does snow, but very, very rarely is that snow hanging around for 2 or 3 weeks with the black and the ugly and the, just cold. Overall, the weather is fairly fair to everyone across the board. The 4 seasons is nice. I will tell you that sometimes we have 4 seasons in one day, so make sure you pack accordingly. When you're heading out for the morning, when you first get here, sometimes it may be, windy and snowy and cold, and that may, clear up, and we may have a little bit of dreary. It may turn to rain as it heats up, and then it could feel like summertime by the time you get out of work that day if you're working from the office still. So the weather is absolutely one of my favorite parts about Colorado. Again, no day's the same, which keeps it interesting, keeps the energy flowing, and is absolutely, the heart of Colorado and what we're all about. So if you're interested or you have any questions about relocating to Colorado, learn it from a native. Don't worry, I won't shoo you away. I love new people coming to town. Obviously, as a real estate agent, I love helping people find homes and do that. But if it's just a question about a community or, where you can go to get XYZ, or, ideas on places to look based on what you're looking for as far as, anything and everything, I've been here. I completely understand the area, all around Colorado, one of my favorite places, and that's why I live here. So I hope this helped you. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.